That was insane.
I was like, I'm not going to do it. I'm going to wait a second so Jody doesn't do it. And it's just...
That's just how it is.
Yep.
Welcome back. It is Book Chats with Mostly Books. I'm Jody.
I'm Jen.
Tonight we are chatting about A Blade So Black by L.L. Mckinney. This is her debut.
Oh.
Yeah. So that was kind of fun.
Yeah.
We've done a few debuts now.
Mm-hmm.
It's exciting. Before we get too far in, Jen's going to give us a synopsis, though.
Yeah, so Alice is living in modern-day Atlanta and navigating high school and dramatic friends, but also travels to Wonderland and slays nightmares that are, because Wonderland is like the dream world, and the nightmares are created by humans' dreams and fears and all that sort of stuff. It's all going mostly manageably until her mentor and crush, I think we can call him that, is poisoned and dying, and she has to travel further into Wonderland to save him, and finds out, well, maybe things aren't quite what they seem. Not that anything is ever simple in Wonderland, but even less of what they seem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It gets crazy.
It gets pretty crazy, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So this was kind of like called an Alice in Wonderland reimagination.
A retelling, yeah.
With kind of a Buffy-esque feel to it. I definitely felt the Buffiness of it.
That goes right over my head. I never watched it.
I missed. There were definitely Alice in Wonderland moments, but I could have had a little bit more. I think. Sorry, I just jumped right in that one.
I was gonna say,
didn't
what
even
did you
tell
think
you
of
about
the...
what I thought.
What did you think of the book?
So needless to say, I had strongly mixed feelings.
Valid.
But anyway, what did you think? And we'll come back.
I think I liked it a little more than you did. I'm also less emotionally invested in Alice in Wonderland, and you were further in it than I was at the point we talked about it, and like you were having issues with it. I'm like, well, I'm not gonna think of it as a retelling then. So I just thought of it as like completely rewriting it. If Alice in Wonderland by Lewis Carroll never existed, and this was what we had for Alice in Wonderland, and I think it made more sense that way.
Yeah, I think that was definitely the way to go into this. I think if you do that, then you won't be like looking for all of the Alice references, which there are some, and they're throughout the whole
fun to find
thing. Yeah, it just wasn't heavily the parts that you guys would have expected. Mm-hmm. There was a few key things that I was like, I'm surprised that's not in here.
Yeah.
And that being said, it may be in the book too,
or book 3.
I don't really know. Yeah. I don't. Yeah, so she could be like just piecing this out too. Mm-hmm. So we'll have to read further to find that part out.
I started wondering that too, because there's a big monster that attacks at several points in the book, and Lewis Carroll famously wrote a poem about a big monster, and I'm like, why doesn't this monster show up? Yeah. And then I was like, oh, is it in another of the books, or? Yeah,
and the way the ending is, I'm kind of like, oh, maybe that's where that missing element's going to come into, but we'll get into that later. So do you want to talk characters first?
Characters or writing?
Let's do characters. I kind of feel like we're kind of already not really there, but we could be.
Okay.
What did you think of all the characters?
I liked Alice. Mm-hmm. Really felt for her when she's like, I have to get home. Like, you don't understand. My mom's gonna like lock me in the dungeon or whatever. Yeah. I'm like, I see it. You know, like, it's very real high school problems.
Yeah, I actually really appreciated that, because sometimes in like YA fantasies and that, when they're in high school and they're dealing with their like high school life and home life, that part somehow gets kind of washed away.
Or their parents like conveniently die, and it's like, oh no,
or
they don't have
like,
parents now.
Or maybe they're out of town and they're not keeping tabs, so they have like all this freedom to go and save the world, and no one notices they're gone. So I kind of appreciated that we really got to look at how stressful this is. Balancing going to high school, being a teen, dealing with your parents. Yeah. Parent, yeah. Who was very protective, and rightfully so.
Yeah, and like her mother's reasons for it are like very legitimate. It's not. Yeah. It's not like we think her mother is.
No, she's not being like
mad.
And she's not being like. I mean, yes, she's being protective, but I didn't really feel like she was that overbearing. I felt like these were all reasonable requests. You need to be home at curfew.
You need to answer your phone at least after a couple times of trying.
You can't, like, not respond to me for 24 hours and expect me to not freak out. I mean, to me, this was all realistic for a high schooler.
Yeah.
as were the punishments. You're now grounded.
But you can still go to this party. You're just grounded after the party.
After the party.
Which I kind of, like, I get, because, like, she's already, like, basically there, or her mother thinks she's already there. She's like, well, fine, just when you get home, you're grounded.
Mm-hmm.
So.
I mean, that was nice.
Yeah.
I'm not sure mine would have done that.
It wasn't that exciting in high
I might have
school.
been told to come home immediately if that was the case. Yeah, and what do you think of Addison Hatta?
I do not trust him with a 10-foot pole.
I love that you don't trust him.
I didn't trust him, like, really early on.
And I don't feel like that at all. And why do you not trust? Why do you think he's shady?
Just, it's gonna get into spoilers if I give you all my reasons for
No,
why.
don't do all. But like
Okay.
the first 50 pages, you had a sense.
It's just, like, very convenient that he finds her. Well, like, first Alice is, like, attacked by this nightmare monster. And it talks to her, and then it also talks to Addison when he shows up and kills it. And he's like, oh, you traitor. And I'm like, what does that mean? Like, is Addison in on this?
Technically that gets kind of told.
That gets kind of told, but, like... plot detail, spoiler, it was a fiend, and the fiends used to be people.
Yeah.
So this person probably knew Addison at some point, and it's like, well, yes, you are a traitor, but I think it was more than the way that we're told.
I like that.
And he's like, oh, it's curious you can see me. It's like he knew this was happening.
Curious and
already.
curiouser. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then he just doesn't tell Alice things, and then the Black Knight gets kind of shady about him. I do not trust Hatta.
See, and I don't feel like that at all. It's so funny. We normally agree on this.
He's too pretty and he's too nice, and there's too many reasons why we should trust him, so I don't trust him.
I am a sucker for a punk boy, so I could be a little biased on this.
I'm surprised I'm like this way, because I'm surprised I'm like, oh yeah, he like is very much a type of fictional character that I would enjoy. And he's fun, but don't trust him.
I like it. We'll see what happens, because like, I don't know, so far he seems okay. I mean, granted, most of the time he's been kind of not really
He's
around.
unconscious for like half the book. Yeah.
What do you think about like Chess and Courtney, her friends from high school?
Courtney overreacted about the birthday party.
Oh yeah, we need to get back to all that nonsense.
Yeah. They're okay. They're fine.
Yeah, I like Chess. Courtney was fine.
I had some suspicions about Chess for a while.
Oh, I still do.
And because he just, again, it's when they're too nice. When they're too nice, I
You're
don't
like,
trust
what are you up to?
Yeah.
See, Chess, I kind of got like halfway through was like, huh.
Yeah, he didn't pass the vibe check.
He didn't. No, I totally agree. I still think that might be true with that one.
But then a thing happens, and I'm not entirely sure where that Chess stands with that and how I feel about
we'll
it now.
discuss that later.
I like Maddie. She's
oh yeah,
fun.
I like Maddie too. Our poet. I love that she's called the poet.
Yeah.
Since she is our
Like our potions master.
or like yeah, a little,
Our healer
Our
character.
healer character, and they call her a poet because she has to say verses to activate the potions.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of liked that twist.
I like the twins.
I kind of feel like meh toward the twins. They're fine. I kind of think the Duchess is interesting. I'm kind of...
The Duchess and Hatta have a history. That's very apparent.
Oh yeah, that's apparent. I think there's a lot more to the Duchess than we're getting told right now. Yeah, maybe we don't do anyone else because then it's going to get into a lot more detail.
Yeah.
Writing. What do you think of her writing?
It read really quickly and like really easily to just go along with it. Also, it's formatted that there's not a ton of type on each page. Like, some YA has more type on this one has less, I thought. And I was like, oh, this is easy to read, just gonna go along with it.
It was really easy to read. It was quick, things happened, and you just kept going.
Yeah, and it has chapter titles.
I kind of actually enjoyed the chapter titles on this, and I also have mixed feelings typically about that.
Yeah,
but I liked them.
I like chapter titles too, and like YA, and most of the books I read don't really have them. Like, a lot of kids' books do.
I don't normally like them, but I did enjoy them in this one. So yeah, I thought it was quick moving. I thought the voice was good and strong. So it was good.
Oh yeah, she's funny. Alice
She's
is pretty
really
funny.
I will also note that this is definitely not a clean teen read, in the sense that there is a lot of cussing.
There is?
Like 3 pages in, yes.
Really?
F-bomb dropped.
I missed that one.
And there's several F-bombs.
Really? Oh my gosh.
That one's typically not in your YAs as much. Some of the other language might be, but I was like, oh my goodness, like 3 or 4 pages in already. It made me laugh. So, forewarned if you are looking for a cleaner read.
Yeah, I didn't even notice.
You wouldn't need to. So it's all fine for you.
Yeah, there's that, I guess.
Any general topics you want to talk about before we ruin this for everyone in the world?
I don't know. We kind of touched on the Alice in Wonderland thing.
Oh, I also wanted to say that I liked the nightmares. I know you kind of talked about it briefly in the synopsis, but I kind of really thought that was really cool. These nightmares that are created out of the human's fear that only humans can kill and nobody in Wonderland can, but they're created in Wonderland and drift into the human world. It was really cool, like how it all interplayed with everything. And just the whole idea of these nightmares, your fears coming to life, I guess.
Yeah, and Wonderland is this dream world that exists because humans have dreams.
Yeah. So, and then you don't dream in Wonderland, correct? Like the Wonderlandians don't dream?
The Dreamwalkers don't dream.
That's who it is that didn't dream. Like somebody doesn't dream anymore.
But then Alice starts having dreams.
Yeah, spoilers. Anyway, so I thought that was a fun twist on Wonderland too. I mean, it's kind of a nice, darker tell.
And it's fun to have a non-white character as our main character.
Yes, I liked her. Yes.
Yeah.
I agree with that completely. Most of the cast isn't.
Most of the Wonderland cast is.
But the
not
human
the human
world
cast
are not diverse as much. Yeah, because she's in a very probably suburban-y part of Atlanta, I guess.
Courtney lives in a gated community.
I meant where she went to school because her buddies are all white at high school.
I don't remember because her high school days were not the most interesting.
They're not interesting, but she did comment on like they were the two white people she liked.
Yeah,
which I liked.
And chess, we don't know enough about. We find out. I'm sorry, I'm gonna get into spoilers. I have lots of thoughts on chess.
Let's do spoilers from here. Then.
Okay.
Spoilers from here. Come back and see us after you read it. Okay. What do you want to spoil?
So chess. We find they have to break into her school to get something out of her locker because of course you keep magical artifacts in your locker.
She didn't know it was she knew it was magical. Never mind.
Yeah, she knew it was magical. She just she didn't think it was the magical thing she thought she needed. But then Chess is like, oh yeah, casually, I got kicked out of my last school because I broke into it, and they're just like, what? You did what?
Well, I mean, he's a new friend. They're still getting to know him this year. I know something you'd think you would have been told by now, but...
Yeah, that you participate in, like, Ocean's heists in your free time.
Right. It was a dare. He then just succeeded and got ratted out.
Yeah, but now I have questions about chess.
Oh, that's your only reason to have questions?
No, that's not my only reason, but, like, we start finding out, like, maybe there's more to him than we, like, thought, and then he gets, like, kidnapped and almost killed. And
then the epilogue.
Yeah.
Do we want to just talk about it? We're on the chess part.
I wasn't sure Chess was the epilogue character.
Yeah.
Is he?
Yeah, they say it flat out at one point when he says chess, or Maddie says chess when he, like, rises up from the bed. Do you want me to find it?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So we think he's dead, and he may be dead and coming back to life because he's been, like, inflicted with the madness from the Black Knight sword, which is wreaking havoc all over Wonderland with his little chaos. So then, he just sits up in the bed. I still think he's also more than that. I think he's going to be a Cheshire cat.
That'd be interesting.
I'm hoping, because he has violet eyes and a big, wide grin, and his name is Chester.
Yeah. I was kind of like, because right now all we have of the Cheshire cat is, like, a wall clock with, like, a swinging tail.
Yeah, that I'm sure you've seen everywhere. Well, not everywhere, but you've seen. Yeah.
It's the first time I've seen the word Trotsky in print.
Oh, how funny.
I've heard it. I had no idea how to spell it. I'm like, there's only 2 vowels in this word.
Yeah, that's funny. So needless to say, I'm really skeptical on Chester. Chess. Whatever it is Chester. Should we talk more about the Black Knight?
I feel like we should talk about
kind of just jumped into a deep end there.
Yeah.
What do you want to talk about with the Black Knights? Well, the imposter Black Knight, maybe.
Yeah. So it starts Wonderland. There is the queen. Which queen was she?
Are you talking about the main queen?
Yeah, she's like the Queen of Hearts, right?
But now they just call her the Dark Queen.
Black
yes.
Queen, yeah.
Black.
So the Queen of Hearts had 3 daughters. One of them's the White Queen, the Red Queen, and then a younger daughter. She was a good queen. Things are going great. And then her youngest daughter is killed or dies somehow.
Mm-hmm.
And she goes mad with grief and starts trying and like dabbling in black magic to bring her daughter back. And eventually she becomes the Black Queen and is like creating nightmares and all these things to like rule Wonderland.
Mm-hmm.
So her daughters, the White Queen and the Red Queen princesses, become the queens, and they overthrow their mother with some help from defectors from the Black Queen side, like the Duchess and Hatta.
Can we just say what that is? Who he is?
I was gonna get there.
Okay, she's gonna get there.
So they have help. They overthrow the Black Queen. Black Queen goes missing. They take her eye and her heart, so she can't resurrect.
Mm-hmm.
Addison.
Interesting. So resurrection was already kind of normal. Okay, keep going. I just hadn't thought about that.
I think it was. So Hatta was the original queen, Black Queen's Black Knight.
Mm-hmm.
So he had the Vorpal sword from the Jabberwocky poem, which doesn't really do what the Vorpal sword in that poem does. But then we see a White Knight later, and so the queens have knights.
Okay. So I know Alice was totally stunned that Addison was the Black
I was not
Knight.
stunned at all.
I wasn't either. I'm like, he's pretty much told you when he told you the backstory to the Black Queen that he was the Black Knight. I don't understand why she didn't get that. And his sword is the black sword.
It tells us that in like the first few pages that he
Yeah.
has this like massive black sword, and I'm like, oh, that's important.
And then reiterates it again where he's talking about the Black Queen and how she's standing with her Black Knight. And then somewhere in that part, it basically says Hatta is that person.
I looked at it. The grammar's big. It doesn't quite
Oh.
refer back to him, but you get the understanding that it's like
Totally
him.
get it. It's him.
Yeah.
Especially with the black sword. Like, who else?
Who else has a fancy black sword?
And why is he so upset about this imposter? And it's like, there's no way it's the Black Knight.
He's like, it's not them because I'm the Black Knight.
Anyway, didn't mean to digress. Yeah, I just was like, really, Alice, come on.
So yeah, an imposter Black Knight shows up and starts like playing Alice. And for a while, I did think it was Hatta again because we never saw them in the same place.
I never thought it was Hatta. Well, go ahead.
I didn't know who else I think it was, but at one point in the big battle, Alice is looking at the imposter Black Knight, and she thinks, oh my god, that's who it is this whole time. I should have known. And then doesn't tell us who.
That's so rude.
I'm like, well, who is it?
I, for a while, thought it was Chess.
Yeah.
Because there was that where he drops her off at her house that night, and then she says something in her head, and he, like, responds to it. And then...
Oh, does he?
Yeah, this happens twice. So it happens once with Chess and then once with Courtney. But the one with Chess, okay, so that happens and he responds and she's like, well, that's weird. I thought that in my head. And she's like, I guess I said it out loud. It was when he brought her back after the massive ball.
Oh, and she's, oh, yeah,
She
I remember
totally,
that.
like, pushes this under the rug. And you're like, hello, this seems like a big thing.
Oh, yeah, I didn't get that was just in her head. I thought she actually could have,
No,
like,
she
spoken
doesn't
that.
say it. Nope, it was in her head. It was italicized, not quoted. Anyway, then shortly after that, the Black Knight appears in her bedroom. And I was like, is this Chess? Because I'm already suspicious with this boy with violet eyes.
But then we see imposter Black Knight and Chess in the same space.
Yeah, it's not.
Who else could it be?
I have no idea. I feel like it's going to be someone we haven't actually met. Unless it's her dad.
I was going to say, is it her dad?
Her dad has mysteriously died.
And that the night of his death was kind of like the first night. It's the prologue, I think.
It's the prologue, yeah.
Yeah, it's like her running distraught out of the hospital into an alley and then being attacked by a nightmare monster.
Yeah, convenient that Hatta's
Convenient.
right there.
And then Hatta's right there.
Recruits her.
Yeah, I'm like, he showed up too quickly.
But I feel like she would have been more stunned if it was Dad. Because she's obviously very grief-stricken. I don't know. I have no idea who it could be.
I don't know either, but the Black Knight keeps calling her princess.
Yeah, I still think she might be the third daughter.
The youngest daughter?
Yeah. I don't know why, because they have said she's died, but I'm kind of like...
And time passes differently in Wonderland.
And evidently
in the real
people
world.
are resurrected.
Well, she never could have died in the first place. What if Hatta just dropped her off in the human world and left her there?
I mean, because it was
And
also
then collects her
interesting.
later.
Because the Duchess specifically like seeks out the twins
Yeah.
to be their dreamwalkers, whereas Hada was like, I just stumbled upon you. You're just really great.
Yeah.
So that was already fishy. I feel like he has already scoped her out.
Yeah, like the twins had this whole thing of like, oh yeah, there's a whole database of people that they think are like viable candidates, and she visits you in a dream, and then
you get tested.
Yeah, and then Alice's is just this very traumatic happenstance.
Right, I was just attacked by a nightmare, and he was there.
And then there's this thing with her like figment blades, so she has fancy daggers. And they keep breaking faster than they should, and Hada's like, oh, it's your muchness, which there might be something wrong with that. But then she takes like a sword from one of the twins, and it like explodes with light and burns her hands.
And that happens twice too.
Yeah.
And it's like...
like, what's going on here? And she gets super sick every time she crosses the veil between Wonderland and the real world. And I'm like, okay, that says to me something like you're not supposed to be here.
Not supposed to travel between the worlds. Yeah, that is weird because nobody else gets sick. And again, I'm still like, if Maddie makes you a potion, why is it not always in the broom closet when you get there? Why are they not more proactive on her nausea?
I keep expecting her to like adjust.
But she's not gonna.
But she doesn't. Yeah, it's very strange.
Yeah, so needless to say, there's a lot happening in this book in a lot of different ways. That was cool. Yeah, it was a ride. The end has me like really wanting to actually pick up the next book now because I need to know about chess. I'm very skeptical.
I just want to be proven right that Addison is up to something shady.
And you totally could be right.
I really want to
be totally fine and trying to redeem himself from his errors of his past life.
But he's so convinced he's irredeemable and has done something so terrible. What if his so terrible thing is just something we don't know about yet?
Well, he probably did do something else that's so terrible that we don't know about, but it could have still been as the Black Knight and not him now.
Oh, he's also our Mad Hatter. Or like Maddie and Addison Hatta are our Mad Hatter, kind of.
Well, we kind of thought Maddie was like maybe the mouse.
Oh, yeah, the dormouse, because she's always described as mousy.
Yeah, I don't.
And sleepy.
Yeah, she is sleepy a lot. But yeah, Addison is definitely the Mad Hatter.
They just had like their names together.
I know, it was sort of weird that they were named like that, I thought too. Because initially I was like, oh, Hatta, obviously the Mad Hatter. It's totally. And then we met Maddie and I was like, oh, but she speaks in more riddles. Yeah. So then I briefly was like, which one?
I'm like,
but
don't we need a marcher somewhere too? Yeah.
We have no White Rabbit yet.
We have no White Rabbit.
Who's our White Rabbit?
We don't really have, well, we kind of had a Queen of Hearts, but not really.
Kind of, but not really. I know, so there are definitely elements of Alice that I was surprised we didn't have.
I mean, we got like Looking Glass elements, because we got like the pub's name, we got the Tweedles.
The mirror, traveling. Yeah. So there's some there, but if you're looking for a very hardcore Alice in Wonderland book inspiration, this maybe isn't it. This is inspired by Alice, but in a whole different way that is very enjoyable. I feel like there's more to say, but I'm trying to blank for some reason.
I thought of something.
Okay, good, because I feel like we were talking about something earlier, so good, I'll come back to it, I'm sure.
So like the synopsis I gave, like her mentor falls ill, and that doesn't really happen until like halfway through the book. So it's like there's plenty of things going on before that. I
was sort of confused about his illness as well, in the sense that he's poisoned, but then is able to fight in the last battle. Like, he's, like, up and I mean, I guess that was from Maddie's potions?
I thought it was because they put the eye back together.
So you think he's healed at this point, but they haven't found the heart?
No, I think, because remember the other characters were, like, aware when the eye healed?
They felt that, yeah.
Yeah, I think it, like, gave him more strength or something, and maybe since he was the Black Knight originally and so close to the Black Queen, like, putting a piece of her back together and being close to it, like...
Gave him, like, an adrenaline rush to get through this.
Was a portable battery to him, I guess? I don't know.
Okay. I was just like, I don't know how you're up and standing suddenly.
Yeah.
Let alone fighting.
And, like, not dying, not losing.
And not losing. Yeah. What did you think about the whole crush relationship between Alice and Hatta?
I wasn't surprised. It's another reason that I think Hatta is sketchy, because Alice is kind of infatuated with him and can't like really see, and doesn't want to see that there's something shady going on here. And the shadiest thing is that he doesn't fully trust her. And I'm like, there's more to it than this.
So the flip side of that, I thought it's super weird. She's definitely infatuated with him, but I never really felt like he's reciprocating that until the end, which there was a comment that he made there too. When they actually kissed, he was like, no, we can't.
Yeah, I was like, what's that about? I'm like, and then again, it is the creepy immortal dude and the teenage girl again. So
True. And one's from Wonderland and one's human. I didn't know if that was
that what he meant by like we can't? I'm like,
oh, well, I think that's what we're supposed to think, but I don't think that's what it is.
Yeah.
So I'm not really sure what that is, but like she was like weirdly in love with this guy, and he was kind of like, you're a great little sister. there is how it always felt like to me.
There's a bit of hero worship going on.
Yeah, definitely some of that. And then on the flip side, I was like, chess is great, although now I'm kind of like,
yeah, and then there's things with her and chess.
yeah.
And then I thought there's gonna be a thing with her and the White Knight, but then the White Knight actually has a girlfriend, so it's fine.
Yeah,
that was really cute.
That was cute. And that was the whole interaction between the White Knight and the princess. I enjoyed, actually. Like,
Odabeth grew on me.
She also grew on me. Yeah, but anyway, it was cute to see her, the White Knight, doting on her all the time.
It was cute. So I don't know what's going on. I feel like we definitely need more of a moment of Hatta is not who he says he is and is not. Like, we need to expose him. Someone needs to bring receipts, and we need to expose him.
Okay. What do you think he's hiding?
I don't know, but he's hiding something.
See, I don't think that at all. It's so funny. Well, one of us will definitely be right. We need, there's something going on. I think it's fair. When they're too perfect, it is like, well, what are you hiding? Something shady.
And we already knew he was lying about the eye.
That he didn't know where it was?
Well, yeah, because she brings, like, the first imposter Black Knight is like, hey, tell Hatta I want the eye. And Hatta's like, okay, cool, I don't have it. And they're like, okay, problem solved. And then
technically he doesn't have it.
He's like, I don't have it. I don't know where it is. It's gone.
That part he
and
didn't
it's
know.
like, well, turns out,
right?
Our boy lied.
Yeah. That may have been just because he didn't want the Black Knight imposter to get it.
I mean, yeah, but still, he told one lie. Why do you mean he didn't tell more?
How do you think the imposter's Vorpal blade was even created?
The Vorpal blade?
Yeah, that one. Like, it feels like that should be a one of a kind. How did they
the Black Knight was also supposed to be one of a kind.
I know, it's just very interesting. So, maybe it's like a reflected version of him, because, you know, there's
Shadow Cell.
The reflected Alice that keeps talking to her and then handed her the crystal thing. I don't know, I'm just pulling crap out now.
I don't know, but, like, I don't think the Black Queen is dead.
Oh, gosh, no.
And if she found one night, could she not make another?
Yeah, I think she's definitely up to no good somewhere.
Yeah.
Without a heart and an eye.
It's kind of creepy.
It's kind of creepy.
So
and impressive.
What about her other eye, then?
Yeah, it is only one eye, which is sort of weird. They left one in.
Oh, that reminds me of Gilded Wolves now. The Horus eyes, because Horus eyes are specifically, I think, like a left eye, maybe, or a right eye. It's specifically one-sided eye.
That's funny. I think I went to Six of Crows. There's an eye.
Oh, yeah,
image in
Uman
that.
gets his eye, like... Yeah.
Eyes, man.
But at one point, this also reminded me of... What was it? I texted you.
You did text me. Because, it wasn't Camelot. Was it?
Oh, yeah, it was.
Okay.
The blacks, like, there's a point where the Vorpal sword, like, kind of, like, sucks in all the light and has this, like, terrible feeling.
Excalibur, yes.
So it reminded me of how Guinevere feels about Excalibur in the Guinevere Deception, which I need to read the sequel now. Anyway, and then you said the Veil reminded you of Ninth House.
It also reminded me, actually, of Camelot.
Oh.
Because there's a traveling between the Veil. More of Mr. Avalon than Kirsten White's version. But yes, there's a lot of traveling between the Veil and the real world. Human world, whatever world.
You know.
Yeah. So, anything else we've missed?
Are you going to read the second one?
I might. Because of that ending. Now, like I said, I need to know. Well, I need to know that Chess is the Cheshire Cat. And what he's up to, because, like, your feelings towards the Hatta, I have towards him.
Oh, I'm also suspicious of Chess.
I think he's definitely up to no good.
I don't trust the boys in this book, apparently. Except the Tweedles. They're okay.
Yeah, the Tweedles are fine.
They're lovely. They're delightful.
Yeah. They're fine. Are you going to read the sequel?
I I think I am. It's going to go on the list. You know, the list that never ends.
Yeah, I hear that. All right. What are we reading next week?
We are reading... I didn't bring my book over.
I was looking for it.
It's up there.
Thank you.
We're reading The Companion by Katie Allender. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And it's realism. I don't know the time period. Victorian, maybe?
Somewhere in that age. Maybe later than that.
There's not a date in the flat copy, so we'll find out next week. Our protagonist is an orphan and gets adopted from the orphanage and thinks like, oh yay, the hard part's over. Gets adopted to be a companion for this family's kind of odd daughter.
Mm-hmm.
There's something off with this daughter. And then the house starts to play on, I think the main character is Margot or Margaret. Lucky? No. Margot. I read it as Lucy. I can't read today. Did I just say Margot?
You said Margot.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
I forgot.
Mm-hmm.
And then the house starts to play tricks on her mind, and maybe she's in the scary part now in the orphanage. It was out of the frying pan and into the fire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm such a sucker for a creepy house. Like, that's just all there is to it.
Problem with this book. It's a white hardbound.
How do you feel about white hardbounds?
They exist to spite me.
The bane of your existence.
They're
yes.
the bane of my existence. They just live to...
And this is
spite me.
like double bad. It's kind of a white cover on a white hardback. There's going to be no hope for keeping that clean.
It'll be fine.
Yes.
Hope.
And, go ahead.
What were you going to say?
I was just going to say that next week we also have a surprise guest with us.
Who's not the author?
I say who's not the author or that exciting. We really like this person, so we still encourage you to come back. But yeah, don't get thinking it's someone famous.
I was going to say, it's not an author because we are still living during a pandemic.
Mm-hmm. No one famous, yes. So we hope you tune in then. And of course, if you'd rather not have this book completely spoiled, you can get it from us here at the bookstore, or give us a call, or order on our website, or listen to it on Libro FM.
Should we mention the other thing about next week?
Yes.
I'm like, you were in full flow for the pitch. I'm like, oh no, this is going to be odd.
So next week will also be our last book chat for 2020. We are going to take a break between now or next week and the rest of the year because of holidays and crazy life.
Mm-hmm.
And we will hopefully come back in January.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely tune in next week. It should be really fun.
Should be special. We got a guest and it's our last one. And yeah.
It's big.
We began with a YA book. We're ending with a YA book.
That's funny. What can we say? We like YA.
We sit in this nook a lot. It's rubbing off on us.
Right? All right. We'll see you all next week then. Bye.
Bye.